All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Las Vegas Raiders rookie defensive lineman Tonka Hemingway. Hemingway made a big splash in his first preseason game, highlighting all of the things he will provide this Raiders defense, and we'll break down all the good things he did and what it means going forward. As always, leave us any comments with any feedback or any players you want us to break down going forward. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's start with textbook run defense from Tonka Hemingway. There he is right there on the left side of your screen. So you can see by alignment, he's in what I call a four-eye technique. Four eyes on the inside eye of the tackle right there. If he was tighter to the guard on his outside shoulder, we would call that a three technique. What the Seattle Seahawks are going to run here is standard inside zone concept. So we're going to get a zone block here. We're going to get a zone base reach here, backside cutoffs here, and we're going to take this fullback right here from Seattle, and he's going to cut the in man on the line of scrimmage. How this is designed to work is to get a lot of flow this way from everybody up front, get the defense flowing with it. Fullback right there cuts the in man, running back cuts behind just like this. You talk about textbook defense here, guys. Tonka Hemingway plays this absolutely perfectly. Phenomenal for anyone, let alone a fourth round pick. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the zone tracks across the board. Let's take a look at the fullback right here. Again, going to cut the in man on the line of scrimmage. You can see the Raiders, they slant to that side right there, so they naturally create that kind of dislocation. That should actually help out the offense right here. They watched everyone down. Let's watch Tonka Hemingway, though. Watch how he plays this. He sees the guard come to him, extend, see how his feet parallel to the line of scrimmage. Perfect. Sets the edge right here. Running back can't get outside, even though it's a design cutback. If it wasn't a design cutback, the running back would be totally hosed because Hemingway's right there. 49's doing a good job as well. Very well coached Raiders defensive front. They had a very nice technique day against the Seattle Seahawks. But look at 97, extension, perfect. Sees when the running back makes his move, sheds, makes a tackle, limited gain. You talk about run defense at defensive line. This is perfect. This is textbook. Again, good base, parallel to line of scrimmage. Extension right there, maintaining gap responsibility. Shed when it's time to make the play. Close, make a good tackle. Perfect rep. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Hemingway right there, number 97. It's absolutely perfect. Guard comes to him, right there, contact, extension, maintain your gap. Look, eyes on the running back right there. Extend, offensive lineman falls down, play off the block, make the tackle. You literally cannot do any better than this. You talk about teach tape kind of stuff. I would expect this from, a 5-6 year vet that's been to a Pro Bowl or two. For a fourth round pick, Tonka Hemingway in his first preseason game to do things like this, that's a great sign going forward. All right, next play here. How about what could be the play of the day, in my opinion, from anyone on the Raiders defense? Tonka Hemingway's right there. This time he's lined up in a two-eye technique on the inside eye of the guard right there. It's going to be another inside zone concept working this direction to the offensive right, the right side of your screen for the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to bring the wide receiver in motion pre-snap just like this to get these linebackers and safeties and all that to hold there for a little bit, maybe get a little bit of flow that direction. And then up front, we're going to get base reach there. We're going to get zone double team here working up, zone double team here working up, depending on what happens with Hemingway, and then backside cutoffs. Just like before, running back's taking this track and looking for a way to cut back. He could cut back this way, he could cut back farther inside, or he could keep it wide. This is more of a wider zone concept, how this play ends up working out. And to that end, let's watch Tonka Hemingway make one of the most impressive plays I saw all day. Let's check it out. There's motion. There's a snap. You can see the zone concept right there on the Seattle Seahawks offensive line. They can see they get on 72. Running back's pressing it. Let's watch Tonka Hemingway right here. So he's in this gap, this A gap right here. He gets engaged with number 75 just like that, the right guard for the Seattle Seahawks. He's got his eyes on the running back. That center comes over and delivers a pretty decent punch. But watch Hemingway power through it because right there's some dislocation. Good double team by the center, but Hemingway fights through it, disengages the block, and then lays out to make the tackle. You talk about effort. You talk about defending the run, going above and beyond. This is what I love to see. Coming out of college, a lot of people viewed Hemingway as a playmaker up front, a guy who could disrupt offenses, make tackles for loss, make tackles like this, pass game, run game, could do it all. And this, folks, is exactly what they were talking about. Again, fighting through a double team, fighting through blocks. Wasn't 100% pretty right there, right? He's getting jostled around a little bit. He's got a double team. That's tough stuff. But he fights through all the trash. Great effort. Nice rep. From the wide copy, you get a really good look at it right here. Watch as the motion passes. He fights through. He's got the double team right there. He gets dislocated a little bit. See how he goes a little flailing? Hey, that's going to happen. It's football. Double teams are going to happen, especially in the wide zone scheme. But he fights through it, keeps fighting, lays out, and makes a tackle. You talk about a playmaker. This is what you're talking about, folks. There's a lot of defensive linemen in the NFL that it's just doing their best to not get pancaked here and just maintain their gap. And Hemingway does his best to do that, but he takes it a whole nother level. He fights through all the trash, fights through the double team, disengages, and then makes a tackle to boot. Phenomenal job by 97. All right, how about some pass rush here from Hemingway and the Raiders D? There he is right there, lined up in a 3 technique on the outside shoulder of the guard. What the Seattle Seahawks are going to do is they're going to slide their protection to the offensive left, the right side of your screen. So the center's going to take that gap, guard's going to take this gap, tackle's going to take this gap. So on the backside here, we're going to get one-on-one, guard one-on-one on Hemingway, tackle one-on-one on number 99 right there. So Hemingway got a one-on-one opportunity here. This is a must-win kind of situation because you got a 3-way go if you're a defensive tackle. You can go inside and win, you can go through and win, or you can go outside and win. This is a situation where if you're going to be a star player, if you're going to be a quality defensive tackle in the league, you got to take advantage of these opportunities. Hemingway does. Let's check it out. All right, get a little motion. There's a snap. You can see the offensive line sliding to the left. Their left, the right side of your screen. You can see one-on-one right here on the left side of your screen, right side of the offense. Let's look at Hemingway right here. Tries to get a little shimmy shake. I don't really necessarily love that from a defensive lineman, but it works out for him. Knocks his hands away. That's how you do it, guys. Look how he plays off 63's hands. See how he knocks him away, keeps fighting through. Pressure on the quarterback. Nice job. Now, what does this cause, right? Let's give credit for 63 for fighting. Quarterback's able to step up and escape. But what happens here, right? This offensive lineman, this center blocking number 93 for the Raiders, he thinks he's trying to protect a quarterback that's behind him. When the quarterback scrambles, what happens? He gets caught grabbing cloth. Look, it happens. You're grabbing cloth inside. But what happens when the quarterback scrambles? Little tug there, ref throws a flag, holding penalty. It all starts with guys like Tonka Hemingway, playmakers, disruptors. This is what you bring to the table. Great job once again by number 97. All right, out wide right here in the wide copy. It looks pretty good. You get the motion. Watch how he does a little shimmy shake right off the beginning. I don't love that. Just get right into your move, dude, right? You're a defensive tackle. You're not a point guard, okay? But again, he corrects pretty well. He knocks his hands away, gets pressure on the quarterback. One thing I really wish is he would have taken maybe a little tighter turn, but we're talking nitpicky here. Again, you get pressure in this situation. Mobile quarterback, look, he's going to step up and run. But what happens? You can see right there, center latches on. You see that pole right there, folks? You get the penalty. You get disruptive guys up front, you draw penalties, and that's exactly what the Raiders have been missing a lot over the past couple seasons. I expect Tonka Hemingway to bring that a lot, both this season and going forward. All right, how about some backside run defense next? There's Tonka Hemingway right there. He's lined up, folks, in a 5 technique right there. Pretty wide. You see he's on the outside shoulder of the tackle. He lined up all over the place. You talk about a versatile player, playmaker, and versatility. Love to see that. He's going to be on the backside, so we're going to get sort of an inside run concept here for the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to get double teams here. We're going to get base block here, base block here, base block kind of here. We've got the tackle here. He does an interesting thing. He kind of tight scoops, stays tight to Hemingway, tries to work up to the next level, and the tight end works out. So no one really blocks Tonka Hemingway. It's kind of a weird concept. I think someone screwed up. There's also a chance, it is preseason. This isn't a play they would call against this formation if it was a real game, regular season kind of game. But regardless, Hemingway, you get a chance like this, you got to make the play. That's exactly what he does. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We get the double team inside. You can see over here on the right, we get the base blocks right there. Let's look at Tonka Hemingway right here. You can see the tackle gives him a tight scoop, a shock. Then the tackle works up to 43. I kind of wonder if the tight end screwed up. I kind of feel like the tackle and tight end felt this was going to be a scoop job, and this tight end here was supposed to cut off Hemingway. Instead, he blocks out. I'm willing to bet that's the case because you can see the tight end over here. He blocks out. I think this tight end here got left and right confused. I think that's what happened. But regardless, if you don't get blocked, you got to make the play. Have to. Must do. And he does. It's one of those things in the NFL, when the opposition makes a mistake, you have got to capitalize on it. If you're going to be a player in the National Football League, you have to. There is no excuse. Mistakes don't happen all the time. When they are there, you've got to get it done. Interception opportunity, catch the football. No one blocks you, make the tackle. Nice job by Hemingway. From the wide copy, watch Tonka Hemingway right there. Again, 79 does a tight scoot technique, but no one goes to cut him off. Again, I think that's that tight end right here. I think he screwed up. But again, no one blocks you. Got to make the play. He does. Nice work. Sometimes the plays you make, certainly as a defensive lineman, don't show up on the stat sheet, but they can still be very consequential, and this play is a very good example of that. So you can see Tonka Hemingway right there. He's lined up in a 4-eye technique right there on the inside eye of the tackle. And we're going to get another inside zone kind of concept right here working to the right side of your screen by the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to get the tight end working out, this tackle working out. We're going to get a base block right here trying to reach from the guard. We're going to get scoop techniques right here, working up to the next level, scoop right here. Fullback leading the way, running back just looking for a place to cut back, whether it's that direction, straight ahead, bounce it outside, whatever it may be. A lot of lines and arrows on the screen, but you guys get the picture. I want you guys to focus on Tonka Hemingway right there because as this block comes in, he totally pushes it back and blows up the entire play. This is how you win at the point of attack. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the inside zone concept right across the board. Seattle Seahawks working to the right. Look at Tonka Hemingway take on this guard right here. Now, I will be fair to number 75. This is a tough responsibility. He's going to go a whole gap over and square up and try and reach and try to not give up ground. Hemingway shocks him in the chest, walks him back. You can see number 36, the running back right there. He sees that pressure right in his face. He sees Hemingway driving 75. He's like, oh, I got to put my foot in the ground and cut back. He loses his footing. He falls down. Who is this? Jamal Adams gets credit for a tackle for loss. Again, good job by Adams filling and good job across the board. Good Raiders defense. But again, Hemingway doesn't show up in the stat sheet, right? Just doing your job and doing it well. Shocking the guard, trying to base reach you. Maintaining your gap responsibility. Good technique. Feet parallel. Shoulder square. Good hand placement. All of those little things. Phenomenal technique. Good strength. Every little attribute you want, Hemingway shows and has shown this entire sequence. And even though he doesn't show up on the stat sheet all the time like plays like this, he's a consequential defender for the Raiders. For the wide copy, you get a really good look at it. You see Hemingway right there. Watch as this guard goes out to try and base reach him. Bam, look at that shock. Look what happens. Their contact is made, where is that? Right around the 26-yard line. The offensive tackle gets walked back about a yard, yard and a half. Running back sees that, tries to cut back, and eats it, right? Again, setting a new line of scrimmage, being physical. Watch this extension. Bench press. Bang. That's what you want. This is why you lift weights right there. You get the engagement right there. Mano a mano. Who's stronger? Who's got the better bench? Tonka is. Look at that. Good bench, good extension. Would have had a chance to play off, but the running back kind of ate it again, but still good defense. All right, this time Hemingway makes a play that does show up on the stat sheet. You can see him right there. He's lined up in a 2-eye technique on the inside eye of that guard right there. What you will see from Hemingway, he's going to rush in this B gap just like this, but it's a quick throw from the quarterback. Hemingway recognizes it and makes a play. Let's check it out. There's a snap. You can see Hemingway rushes right there to his left, trying to get into that B gap. He recognizes right away that the quarterback's going to throw. He sees the ball up. Raises his hands up, bats it down. Playmaker, right? That's who he is. That's what he is. That's what he was in college. That's what he will be for the Raiders going forward. It's not all about the tackles. It's not about the tackles for loss or the sacks, and those things matter. But what we've seen in this entire sequence, he helps draw holding penalties for his teammates. He blows plays up. He'll also make the play, too, when the opportunities are there, just like this. Again, from the wide copy, you can see Hemingway right here. He rushes to the outside. I think he's trying to go in the B gap there, but it depends. He may just be looking for an opportunity. But once he sees the quarterback getting ready to set up and throw, he jumps, knocks it down. Nice play. All right, let's end on what I think was the most underrated play from Hemingway all game long. And there he is right there, lined up in a 2-eye on the inside eye of the guard. You guys will notice he lines up all over the place. I love his versatility. So this is going to be a play action pass for the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to sell zone run up front just like this. They're going to fake to the running back inside, and quarterback's going to fake to him and settle in the pocket and try and throw it downfield. What's going to end up happening is we're going to get a zone step this way, a zone step this way, and ends up being kind of a double team on Hemingway right there. And he works through the trash. He does his run responsibility first. When he recognizes it's a pass, he works through it all, helps get pressure on the quarterback, ends up resulting in an incomplete pass and a win for the defense. It looks really ugly for Hemingway, but it's his effort and his competitiveness that win the day for the Raiders. Let's check it out. There's a snap. You can see the zone track. It's a play action. Quarterback sets up in the pocket, so he's got time. He's looking for someone downfield. Let's go back to Hemingway at the start, right? So he sees run. He shocks right there. He sees, oh, it's not run, it's play action. He starts going to pass rush move, goes to the rip. Nice move. Keeps working, and here the quarterback sees him. Drew Lock, quarterback for Seattle. He sees Hemingway coming. He's setting up. Locke wants to throw that way. He's looking to his right. Right here, he sees Hemingway as he's throwing. He's like, oh, I got to eat it. And he escapes, scrambles outside the pocket, trying to find someone. No one's there. Incomplete pass. Good D. 2nd and 10, right? Good job. But when you look at Hemingway here, is it really pretty if we go all the way back to the beginning? Reads run, does his assignment, works around, right there, good technique. But here, because of his effort, he forces an incomplete pass when it's all said and done. But for his effort, how is he rewarded? With a shot to the rib cage and ends up on his stomach. That's what it's about sometimes. Sometimes it's going to be nasty. It's a good job by the center right here being physical, protecting his quarterback. Look, it's the NFL. This is going to happen, right? But you got to be willing to have those effort plays, have those high-intensity plays. If you can do this, sacrifice your body, be humble, be team first, you will create wins for your defense just like this. I love how much Hemingway does that. All right, from the wide copy, you can see him right here as he faces his zone double team and play action. He's reading run right there, run. Oh, it's pass right there, transitions to the rip move right there. You can see his inside arm rip up. You can actually literally see it rip up to the sky. Bang, right there, good job. Pressure on the quarterback eats it. Now Hemingway unfortunately gets knocked on his side and ends up falling down. Hey, again, that happens. Quarterback's forced to scramble. Good coverage down the field. Defense wins the day. Again, Tonka Hemingway was one of the most disruptive people on the field in the Raiders' first preseason game. The Raiders had a lot of great draft picks, and we'll cover them and have covered them. But I look at what he did against Seattle in his first NFL appearance. I think the most impactful guy on defense for the Raiders was Hemingway, and I think he will be a star for this Raiders defense, not just this season, but for many years to come.